The Suicide Pack, B-sides, Pretty on the Inside, Prue. Prudence Mallory, this is your moment, I say to myself, looking into the same mirror I've looked into 1,000 times. The one that's seen me cry because I thought I was too weird, too wrong, too lopsided to ever be wanted. The one I've whispered into. Why do I even care? Now I'm staring into it like it might have answers, trying to big myself up enough to go do something really scary. After what we just learned on the group chat on our laptops, what Riff and I suspected, and what that cheeky little mouse confirmed, we know now. That's not Echo we've been talking to, Leo Slayer or regular Slayer. Now the only way to figure out if the quiet kid is actually in danger, if this is another clue or another trap, is for me to be the thing Riff always said I was. Brave. So I'm searching for my armor. The drawer sticks. It always does. I yank it open and start digging. So many scarves. Riff's entire textile history of our friendship. And there it is. The OG. The original. Black. Shredded. Bought in Camden between lockdowns on that magical day when Riff and I first snuck off to London. The day she said something I've never let myself say back. We're 15. We're in my bedroom. Me and Riff, Black Moth blaring from the stereo, sketch pads in our laps. We're designing logos for our imaginary band, Grimoire Girls. I'm painting a plastic doll in full corpse paint. Riff's deep into some corseted vampire concept busty goth wenches with wild hair and fangs. Because she's always had more imagination than me. We're giggling like goblins as the grind of the music shakes the floorboards. That's when Mum manifests into the room with a tray of tea and biscuits, holding her face like she's hearing the musical equivalent of dog poo. Prudence. Rachel. What is this terrible music? Honestly, girls, that is just noise. We laugh. Riff turns it down a bit. Thanks, Mrs. Mallory. Party rings are my favorite. Mum sniffs but nods. I know that, Rachel. That's why we always have a packet. Riff smiles up at her like a grateful puppy. Mum smiles back, just enough. What are you drawing, girls? Riff goes pink and sort of curls around her sketchpad. Silly pictures. Mum peers over anyway. Clocking the heaving bosoms and tangled vampire limbs, she tries not to react. She can see an elaborate logo for the band. What's a grimoire? I jump in. It's a book of spells. From a horror story. She sets the tray down. Spots my black-eyed doll drawing. There's a flicker. I can see it gets to her. When I was your age, she says quietly, I couldn't bear horror stories. Mum pulls back the curtains to my window and switches off my desk lamp like she lives here. When you've had your tea, why don't you girls go outside? It's a lovely day. Too nice to spend inside in the dark. The light floods in harsh and overexposed, like it's trying to bleach the darkness off our drawings. She shuffles out, picking up empty glasses, mumbling about the dishwasher under her breath. That felt like an instruction, not a suggestion. The sort of sentence that ends with a door closing behind you, even if it's not said out loud. Riff picks up a biscuit. A party ring, blue and yellow. She nibbles the edge and grins. I think I scare your mum. I throw a pink one at her. You're not scary. You should see my vampire corset sketch. I look over at her pad. She did. I'm not sure she liked it. Perhaps she thinks I'm going to lead you astray. Riff makes a clawing gesture at me and smoothly scoops up the stray biscuit I threw her way. I gaze out the window and hold my arm to my forehead like a swooning femme in a romance story. I think I'd like that. We both crack up, because we're 15. And goth, and everything's funny until it isn't. We didn't just go outside. We went out. We went to London. We told Mum I was at Riff's. Riff's mum was told she was at mine. Classic. We took the train into Euston, already buzzing with the thrill of being somewhere else. Somewhere bigger, louder, filthier. The air tasted like excitement and rust, and the very real promise of something illegal happening just out of sight. Camden was beautiful chaos in the August sun, a riot of second-hand leather and overpriced street food. Even though it was her maiden voyage too, Riff looked like she'd been there 100 times, weaving through stalls like she was born in black. Me? I stuck close, eyes wide, heart hammering. Scared I'd look like a tourist and hoping I could be mistaken for one of those people. She dragged me to the mod shop, to the vintage record stalls, to a shop that sold nothing but clear plastic backpacks and demonic baby t-shirts. We bought Japanese candy and pop from a stand that definitely wasn't licensed, and a bracelet that turned my wrist green before the end of the day. At some point, she found a scarf, black and shredded and a bit ridiculous, and handed it to me like it was nothing. I'm buying this for you, Prue. You have to have it, she said. I laughed. You're always trying to buy me gifts, Riff. Not true, she replied. I saw this, and I thought, there are two women who can do that scarf justice. Patty Smith and my girl. She was right. It felt amazing wrapped loose around my neck, disguising my disfigurement. It evened the playing field. I could stand taller when my outline was a little more deliberately ragamuffin. I wore that scarf every day for about a year after that. I still wear scarves every day now. Not always that one, though. Riff kept buying me new ones. Birthdays, gigs, weird milestones. But sometimes they came without occasion. Just showed up in my lap or on my bed or in my bag. When they did, I always had to wonder why. That night, we saw a band play. Sister Pain. Riff was electric, practically vibrating with joy. I'd never heard of them. I didn't care. She did, and I loved that. There was a moment after the show, walking along the canal, the scarf still warm around my neck. We were tipsy on alcopops and volume and the sheer luck of being us. That's when she said it. Not in so many words, but in the way only she can. Like she wasn't talking at me, like she was talking to me, telling me I was hers. Not property, not possession, just hers. I remember looking at her and knowing she was right, and it scared the shit out of me. So I changed the subject, checked my phone. Did we know the way back to the tube? I asked if she thought we could make the last train. We did. We got home without a scratch, told our mums we watched films, ate popcorn, in bed but not asleep a little after midnight. We've never told anyone. Well, we told the pack about the day, but not the unspoken thing. It's come up again, maybe no more than 3 or 4 times, when we're up at the wreck, or on one of our long walks, or when too much drink and not enough sleep knocks the guard down. I feel it again, that charge. That thing that isn't just friendship, that maybe never was. But we don't talk about it. Not really. We just carry it. Like a shared secret no one dares open. That feeling of belonging to one another when Riff put her arms around me on Camden Lock and said, "You're my one." It meant so much. It meant too much. It meant my insides got all messed up. Like someone had tipped over a glass of rum and honey in the middle of my chest and didn't bother to mop it up. In the year that followed, we felt like we might fall into chaos at any point. Our hormones were raging and our feelings all over the place. She'd say something that could be considered one way. I'd pull back, then yearn for her to say it again. It was a fuzzy mess of near misses and oh-so-hilarious mix-ups. I'm being ironic, of course. And the last time it came up about a year ago, we were up at the wreck. Not all 8 of us, but more than the 2 of us. A hot summer night, drinking cheap beer, laughing too loud, everything soft and sideways. The boys were being the boys. Echo and Unit were just getting to know each other, and he'd offered to walk her home. Twink went too, because they could not read the room. So Riff and I found ourselves outside the scout hut, lying in the grass, looking at the lights from the flats across the way. She laid her head in my lap. That was all she did. And she looked so at home. I didn't know what to do with myself. My hands were shaking, just a little. Not fear. Not quite. Just something I wasn't ready for. So I did what many teenage girls do. I went and found the arms of a willing boy and tried to work out my feelings on him. Peachy was sensitive. He was kind. He didn't make it weird. Didn't push. Didn't ask. I don't feel like he took advantage of me. I don't feel like I took advantage of him. But still, what we did wasn't necessarily for the right reasons. He was tender. Gentle. He made me feel safe enough to fall apart a little. We never spoke of it again afterwards. Not in words. And when he was taken, when we lost him, I felt a pain inside deeper than I'd realized was possible. When we commemorated him back up at the scout hut, when we threw that scrappy, improvised wake with the candles and the songs and the stupid fucking costumes from his past, it was the first time I told anybody. I saw what it did to Riff, and I didn't know how to fix it. So I just whispered to her, quietly, in my head, "I'm sorry, babe. I love you too." Mum's asleep. Front room telly still on, casting flickers across the hallway. She'll think I'm just in bed, headphones in, usual sulk. I'm not. Now I'm in my room, sat on the edge of the bed, with the drawer half open. I think about leaving a note. But what would I say? So I lift the scarf over my head one last time. There she is, the original, black, frayed, Camden born. Still smells faintly of gig sweat and cheap booze. I wrap it once, then again. Just tight enough. The mirror doesn't lie. I still don't look the way I wish I did. But the scarf helps. Always has. It's more than armor. It's more than a blankie. It's history. Me and Riff, side by side. It's all the things I couldn't say, wrapped around my neck like a promise. I open the window and swing my legs out. The streetlight hits the rooftops across the way. Countington's quiet tonight, like it's holding its breath. I haven't messaged her to say I'm leaving now, but I know. I know Riff is doing the same thing at her house, at this exact moment, choosing her boots, grabbing her jacket, ready for war. I hope she's got her own war face on. I drop down onto the grass with a soft thud. Don't even look back. The scarf trails slightly behind me, catching the breeze. Let's go save our girl.